Despite what you've been told, type 2 diabetes is a 100% reversible condition. Over the past few years, I've worked with hundreds of patients in my clinic, helping them reverse insulin resistance, prediabetes, and even type 2 diabetes. Today, I'm going to show you 3 different systems my patients have used to get off medication and put their diabetes into remission. I'll be going through the ups and the downs of each system to help you choose what will work best for you. I had a client recently who reversed his very uncontrolled diabetes using system number 2. So I'm very excited to share all this information with you today. To understand these systems, we need a metaphor. I've unfortunately been spending a lot of time in the car shop recently, so that's what we're going to go with. Meet your new best friend, John. John wakes up one morning to see oil sitting under his car. It's created a puddle on his driveway. He takes his car to the shop. After looking under the hood, they tell him he's got a large oil leak and needs to get a decent amount of work done. If this is not fixed, well, bad news for the engine. Now John is facing a dilemma. Does he have the time and the money to get this fixed? The first system to reverse diabetes is the one that most people go with, and it can work, but it has the lowest chance of putting your diabetes into remission. This would be like John deciding that no, he doesn't have the time or the money to get his car fixed, so he instead decides to pour oil in his car every single morning just to keep it running. What am I talking about? It's treating diabetes with medication. Now, this is not my preferred approach, and here's why. If you are diagnosed with diabetes, there's a lot of medications to choose from. Metformin, glipizide, Actos, injectable drugs like Ozempic. A lot of our options, like injecting yourself with insulin, is purely an option just to keep the car running. The moment you stop taking medication, blood sugar spikes up. We haven't actually fixed anything. I think there's 2 smart ways to use system number 1, or medication. I would be either using the medications that can help you lose a significant amount of weight to put your diabetes into remission, or using medication in the short term to control your blood sugar while you focus in on system 2 or 3. The first would be using the medicines like Ozempic or Mounjaro that can help you lose a lot of weight. I'll give you an example. I have a client who I met about 2 years ago. When we met, he was on a lot of insulin. Now, I hate insulin because it is a temporary solution and it makes people gain a lot of weight. So our first step was switching him to Mounjaro. Since we met each other, he's lost about 100 pounds. His blood sugar is under way better control. Their diabetes is not quite in remission yet, but we are getting much closer to stopping medication. The major downside, though, and I feel like 90% of people get stuck in this situation, is that it's very easy to just take the medicine and not make any changes at all in your diet or your exercise. This group of people might get their A1C into what's considered an acceptable range, but that could still be in the diabetes or the pre-diabetes level. We certainly haven't fixed the root cause of this, which is insulin resistance. The other major downside is the possibility of side effects from all this medication. Just off the top of my head, I can think of more than a handful of my patients who have been hospitalized due to side effects from diabetes medicine in the past year. Not fixing the oil leak is going to lead to damage elsewhere. Let's move on to the second system. This is where you really start to understand what the actual problem is and make efforts to fix it. I call this the slow and steady approach. It's like patching up that leak in your car while you save up the money for the ultimate fix. Making very small changes in your lifestyle can have a drastic impact on insulin sensitivity. With diet, we want to reduce carbohydrate intake and increase protein and fat intake. The most effective place to start is cutting out sweetened beverages. Reducing your intake of soda, sweet tea, even fruit juices can immediately lower your blood sugar levels. When it comes to the foods you're eating, we want to replace as many of the sweets and the bread products as we can with high protein and high fat options. I know you recognize this, the classic food pyramid. We want to think about flipping this upside down. We want proteins and fats to be the foundation of our pyramid, carbs to be this tiny little section up at the top. Just making little changes in your diet can significantly improve blood sugar levels and might even be enough for some people to reverse their diabetes. Incorporating physical activity, especially strength training to build up and maintain muscle, can go a very long ways. If you're a beginner when it comes to working out and you haven't been lifting weights for a long time, you can get amazing results even just doing 2 sessions a week of strength training. So how do you know if the slow and steady approach is working? Well, you can go off tests like checking your blood sugar or your hemoglobin A1C. More importantly, hey, is my body composition improving over time? Am I losing weight? Is my body fat percentage going down? Am I getting stronger? This second system works for a good amount of people, and I've actually had multiple patients be able to get off their medications by doing it. The major roadblock that I see people run into with the slow and steady approach are those little bumps in the road that can set you back months. Overeating on a cruise, gaining weight over the holidays, having those weekend birthday parties. This can lead to a lot of fluctuations in weight. You're cruising on the highway, but you hit a pothole, the duct tape rips off, and you have to turn around, go the opposite direction to get more duct tape before moving on again. So what is the ultimate fix? This is our third system, the expert level, the ultimate step to take to give you the highest chance of reversing your diabetes. Anyone can do it, but not many people choose to. Instead of simply cutting back on carbs, we're gonna throw them out of the diet altogether. A ketogenic diet. The strategy is this: eat tons of protein and tons of fat, keeping carbohydrates as low as possible. This will start slowly depleting your body of all this excessive blood sugar, switching to a different type of fuel source altogether, which is ketones. This fixes the core issue with most people's diet, which is like the opposite of keto. Very, very high carbs and extremely low protein. Some people may be able to fully reverse their diabetes in weeks to months. For others, fully reversing insulin resistance might take a year. Now, you combine a ketogenic diet with any type of strength training, oh my goodness, you're going to be a different person in a couple months. Now, let's say you don't want to cut out carbs altogether, or you get to a place where things have improved and you want to start adding carbs back into your diet. There is a super easy hack you can use to control blood sugar when eating carbs. I made a video about it here, and I'll show you how it can reduce your blood sugar spikes by 73%. You'll be shocked by how easy and simple it is.